Skip the North Island. Just go south. There's nothing to see in the north. The beauty of the South Island cannot be compared to the North Island. I wouldn't waste my time in the North Island. If you're going to go to New Zealand, just go south. Wait. Are you planning your trip to New Zealand, but you have no idea where to start and no idea which places you should go to see? Are you trying to sift through all of the information available online to see what's going to be worth your time and what isn't? And all of this is stressing you out because you don't want to miss out on any of the good stuff. Then you need to watch this video to help you make that decision. My name is Maddie, I'm from New Zealand, and recently I saw an article here in New Zealand that said that more and more frequently tourists are choosing to skip the North Island completely and go straight to the south when they come from overseas to visit our country. And maybe you're considering doing this as well. But as someone who was born and raised in Auckland and has been fortunate enough to see a lot of the North Island, I can truly say you would be missing out on a lot if you choose to completely skip the North Island. In this video, I'm going to give you a better idea of what both the North and the South Island have to offer, highlight some must-see spots, and help you decide how you want to make the most of your trip here in New Zealand. So firstly, why do people skip the North Island? It's such a common thing for tourists to do, to arrive to Auckland International Airport, jump on another plane and go straight to the south, or pick up their rental camper van and completely bypass most of the North Island. And I get it. If you Google New Zealand, the first thing that's going to come up is Queenstown, Lake Wanaka, Milford Sound, all of which are stunning and all of which are in the South Island. Destinations such as these are internationally famous and they get plenty of screen time in the media. And Milford Sound is one of the 7 wonders of the world. The South Island is often perceived as more wild and less touristy than the North Island, which also adds to its appeal. A lot of people think of the North Island as just little cities and South Island as just nature, which means that for many people it's quite easy to say, okay, North Island, I'm not going to bother. I understand if you're on limited time, you may only have a few weeks in New Zealand and there's so much in the South Island that you want to see in particular. And maybe it's really important for you to see the most dramatic landscapes, the ones that really take your breath away. But if you are flexible and you have more time, you'll find that there are many things in the North Island that are definitely well worth your time and well worth exploring. So what kind of things am I talking about? What does the North Island have to offer? A lot. In a nutshell, if you're looking for cultural experiences, historical experiences, or the most beautiful beaches, North Island is your place to go. 85% of New Zealand's Māori population lives on the North Island. Some of the most important Māori sites are located here, including the Waitangi Treaty Grounds, Prienga, and Rotorua in particular has so many beautiful cultural experiences that I think if you're coming to New Zealand, you can't miss them. Let's talk beaches. In my opinion, the most beautiful beaches in New Zealand are in the North Island, specifically the Coromandel and Northland. The best part about beaches here in New Zealand is that they're almost never super crowded to the point where it's uncomfortable. You're always going to have a spot, you're always going to have your own space. And of course, they're just really beautiful to sit there and enjoy. If you're into surfing, the North Island has some really great spots to do so, including Raglan and beaches like Muriwai and Piha. Depending on how you're choosing to travel, the North Island is often actually cheaper to travel around. It's likely that you're coming from overseas, which means that you'll be flying into Auckland first, most likely. And there's a lot more opportunity to get around the North Island without a car compared to the South Island, where you would probably definitely need a car. Overall, the North Island is your best option for culture, history, surfing, relaxing at the beach, camping, and just enjoying these beautiful coastlines that we have. Some destinations that should be on your list for the North Island include Rotorua, Taupo, Cape Reinga, Tongariro National Park, the Bay of Islands, and the Coromandel. If you have visited New Zealand or you know some spots in the North Island that you think are absolutely must-see places for tourists, leave them in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Maybe I also have some more traveling to do. And the South Island. What does the South Island have to offer? I don't think I need to answer that question. As you probably already know, the South Island is full of stunning scenery, breathtaking locations like glaciers, alpine lakes, mountains and fjords. Like I said, a lot of people will say that the South Island is much more rugged than the North Island, much more wild. But I would say mostly because the population in the South Island is a lot smaller than the North Island, even though the South Island is obviously much bigger than the North Island. Also, a lot of the nature and scenery in the South Island compared to the North Island is a lot more extreme, I would say. The climate is more extreme, the landscapes are more extreme, and in terms of being less accessible and needing more effort, I guess, to get there. The South Island is known for offering many outdoor activities, including skiing, hiking, bungee jumping, whitewater rafting and so much more. So it also can be seen as a lot more adventurous in terms of the activities that you can do compared to the North Island. It is likely that you will spend more money traveling in the South Island than you do in the North Island. This is of course depending on the activities that you choose and the kind of things you want to do and see. But since a lot of the activities in the South Island do require maybe some kind of guide, some kind of way to get there and access of some sort, compared to the North Island where a lot of the activities are completely accessible and free to use. Also, a lot of the activities in the South Island you do need to book beforehand, so make sure you're prepared if you're going to see some of those super popular sites. Some of the most popular highlights from the South Island include Queenstown, Wanaka, Milford Sound, Fiordland National Park, Aoraki or Mount Cook, Abel Tasman National Park, and the West Coast, including the glaciers Franz Josef and Fox Glacier. To summarize everything that I've just said so far, North Island equals culture, history, beaches. South Island, mountains, adventures, breathtaking landscapes. I know, it's hard to choose. Are you still not sure which island you should visit? If you're going to do one or the other or both? Here are some questions you should ask yourself to give yourself some clarity. First question. How much time do you have? This is the most obvious question. If you have time constraints, then you're obviously going to have to limit what you see. But I always say to people who are saying, I really want to come to New Zealand, it's my dream place to go, make sure you leave yourself enough time to see everything. We are so far away, literally at the bottom of the world. So if you're going to spend the money to get on a plane and come all the way down here, make sure you give yourself plenty of time to see everything. The ideal amount of time, I would say personally, to come to New Zealand is at least 1 month to 1.5 months. If this isn't possible and you are on time constraints and you have only a short time to travel, you're going to have to plan your route very specifically. Think about whether you want to fly into Auckland and then fly directly down to either Christchurch or Queenstown, or fly to Auckland, rent a camper van and drive yourself down. And if you're super short on time, you're gonna have to come back. You'll have to go twice. Question number 2. What are you most excited to see? What are the things that you saw one time and they made you think, okay, I want to go to New Zealand? I'd also love to hear your answers for this one. What's that one thing or that one picture of New Zealand you saw that really made you think, okay, this is somewhere I want to be, this is somewhere on my list? For example, if there is one beach that you saw in a movie and you're like, yes, I want to be here, I see myself lying on this beach, this is amazing, then obviously you're going to have to include this in your itinerary. Or another super popular place is the Lupin Fields in the South Island, the purple and pink flowers with the backdrop, beautiful backdrop of the lake and the mountains. Obviously that's in the South Island, so you're going to have to add that to your itinerary. Get really clear on the things that you want to see and the things that you think are most important to make your time in New Zealand the best possible time. Because if you're short on time, prioritization is your best friend. Number 3, what are you most excited to experience? Experiences are what makes your trip completely unforgettable, and also are going to be the things that you need to spend money on. So obviously you're going to be a bit more careful and spend more wisely. For example, a cultural experience in Rotorua or hiking on a glacier. Find out where these things are and see how they can fit into your route. Overall, choosing between New Zealand's North and South Islands can be a tough decision. And ideally, you'd be able to do it all, but this just isn't the case for most people. The right answer for you obviously depends what kind of adventure you're looking for here in New Zealand. There is so much to offer all up and down the country, and you're going to enjoy yourself and see some things that you haven't seen before either way. I hope this video has helped you kind of get a better idea about where you want to go and what you want to prioritize on your trip. If you'd like a more in-depth video about the activities and the kind of things you can see in both the North and South Islands, I'd be keen to make one if there is some interest. And if you have any questions or you'd like to add your own opinions to the video, I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.